vinegar from Sarah Owen's book, Heirloom. This is a really easy recipe and it's great because you can use some of the beautiful apples that we get from Sleeping Frog Farms. They manage a great orchard up on Mount Graham where they grow over 20 different varieties of apples, a lot of which we get to see at the Tucson CSA in our produce shares. So today I have Gala apples. They are on the sweeter side, but as Sarah Owens mentions in her book, you can use crab apples, you can use apples that you wouldn't typically want to eat on their own. So it's a really versatile recipe and you can make vinegar to give away to friends, to store in your own pantry, and it just really prolongs the shelf life of an otherwise perishable item. So I'm going to go ahead and start by pouring 12 cups of water into a pot. And I have that pre-measured. And then I've got 6 tablespoons of cane sugar that I'm going to dissolve into the water. And I'm just going to put that to the side for a few minutes while I chop my apples. So I've got about 8 medium to large Gala apples here, and I am going to remove the stems of the apples that have them, but I'll be using the skins and the cores. The only thing that I'll probably remove are just some of the wrinkly parts of the apple that don't look so great anymore and might add a funky flavor to our apple cider vinegar. So to remove the stem, you can just grab it, twist and pull. That's it. And we want to chop these into about 1 to 2 inch pieces. And that's because when we put the weights on top of the apples to keep them submerged under the liquid, we will prevent them from floating up. And if they're too small of pieces, they will float up to the top and you risk getting mold on the surface of your apple cider vinegar. So as soon as I have them chopped, I'm just going to add them to my large 8-cup mason jars here. I don't have anything larger, but if you do have a crock or other non-porous container that's larger, you can use that. And I'll end up using 2 jars because mine aren't large enough. Got all of my chopped apples here. I ended up filling 1 jar most of the way and the other jar about halfway. And what I'm going to do next is cover them with the water sugar solution that we made. So in order to not spill it everywhere, I am going to use a funnel, but you could use a few different ways to do that without making a huge mess. Alright, so I've got my funnel, and what we want to do is put enough liquid in there to completely submerge the apples. I'll give my water and sugar solution a good stir. Make sure that that sugar really is dissolved. And And if you find that your sugar isn't dissolving properly, you can heat it to just like a low temperature, maybe lukewarm or a little bit warmer, to get that sugar to dissolve more quickly. Alright. So I've got a measuring cup here with a spout that'll help me to not make a mess everywhere. Dunk it into the solution and then going to pour it into my funnel. And another reason why this is a great recipe is because it's almost zero waste. So aside from those apple cores that I pulled out and a few spots that I pulled off of the apples when I was chopping them, you get to use the whole apple, and that's really great. And the stems and all of those little blemished parts can definitely be composted, so it can really be a zero waste apple cider vinegar. All right. So now that we have our sugar water solution in there, the next thing we're going to do is weight it down. So I've gotten a little bit creative here, and what I have are 2 glass lids to Weck bottles, but you could use canning weights, you could use a smaller jar that fits on top of your solution. So anything that is non-porous that will help to weight down the apples and keep them from rising to the top will work. So I'm just going to press those down. Perfect. And then what I'll do is cover them with a clean cloth so that no bugs get in. And I'll probably end up securing a rubber band around the top just to make sure that nothing can fly in there and taint the solution. And this process will probably end up taking about 2 months, depending on how warm my kitchen is over the next few weeks. But we're going to check in with it in about two days to see if there's any activity going on, to see if we can see any bubbles, and see if those yeasts are really coming to life. So tune in 2 days.